Ahead on Full Contact Fighter, World Extreme Fighting ready to explode in Evansville, Indiana. Conan Silvera wants to be king of Dan the Beast Severn at WEF 9. And we go one-on-one with UFC heavyweight champion Kevin Randleman. Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Landsberg, along with Full Contact Fighter newspaper editor Joel Gold. Today, from Evansville, Indiana, in the Octagon, this is the home of World Extreme Fighting 9. It's world class.
Full Contact Fighter on the road. Very exciting.
We got an amazing show today. A profile of the WEF heavyweight champion, Conan Silvera, plus one-on-one chats with Matt Hughes and Pat Miletich. But first of all, a look back to the amazing event, Pride Grand Prix 2000, an event many of you saw last week. First, the 8-man tournament, as expected. Joel Kazushi Sakuraba got the best of Royce Gracie.
The rule for Royce Gracie with no time limits seemed to work against him in this fight, as Sakuraba was able to take the victory.
Igor Vovchanchyn stopped Gary Goodrich.
For the second time, the big puncher Igor Vovchanchyn TK'd Big Daddy with punches.
Mark Coleman topped Akira Shoji.
Coleman keeps impressing, able to dominate Shoji throughout the fight for the victory.
And Mark Kerr was upset by Fujita.
Kerr came out strong, but Fujita took over.
Second round, Vovchanchyn defeated an exhausted but game Sakuraba.
A game Sakuraba, but after an hour-and-a-half battle with Royce Gracie, he had to throw in the towel.
Coleman basically advanced on a forfeit over Fujita.
Fujita had a tough bout with Kerr and couldn't continue.
Then in the finals, Mark Coleman handed Igor Vovchanchyn just his second loss in 36 NHB fights.
What an impressive victory for Coleman. This guy is on a roll, and he won this fight in an impressive manner.
Joel, just an amazing win for Coleman, and I think you get even more excited about it when you consider his past.
Yeah, Coleman has been going through some tough times in the past couple of years. He had a few losses, but he's coming back now. He's training in many different styles now. He's learning his boxing, starting to utilize that jab and throw combinations. He's also training with Pat Miletich now, who's teaching him some submission skills. So this was a very impressive victory, and look for even better things from Coleman in the future.
Joel, as big a victory as that was for Coleman, it was an equally big and perhaps shocking loss by Mark Kerr. Here's what he had to say about his loss to Fujita.
At the beginning of the fight, I went out with a really clear objective, and the objective was to focus on kicks and punches and knees. And I executed all of those within the first 5 minutes, and then it just kind of faded away. It was something that I've had other fellow fighters experience the same thing, and it's hard to explain in I say mortal terms because, you know, it's like it's everyone, you know, goes to the gym and they have a good workout and all this, and these are under very stressed conditions. And 5 minutes into the fight, I just really couldn't even respond. And I remember sitting in the locker room, and it took me about an hour afterward to even recover. And from any fight that I can even imagine, if it was the worst case scenario, I've never had really that type of physiological response to it.
Also on the card was Ken Shamrock's return to NHB action, and a very successful return it was. Shamrock stopped Japanese pro wrestler Alexander Otsuka after almost 10 minutes.
And an impressive return. He was able to dominate with striking. He looked very good, and he's ready to roll.
And Shamrock's prodigy, Guy Mesger, won a decision over kickboxer Masaki Satake.
Satake was able to negate the takedowns of Guy Metzger. Metzger continued trying for the takedowns, was able to get it, and basically just fought from the ground, scoring points for the victory.
Okay, still plenty to talk about when we come back. Highlights from WEF 8. And later, one-on-one with UFC champ Kevin Randleman.
World Extreme Fighting is finally coming to Canada. WEF 9 World Class. See WEF heavyweight champ Conan Silvera face Dan the Beast Severn. Also Canadian superstar Carlos Newton. Ground and pound wrecking machine Matt Hughes. And for the middleweight title, champion Pele Landy of Brazil faces American superstar Dave Manet. It's World Extreme Fighting 9 World Class. Saturday, May 27th, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, then midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific. Only on Viewers' Choice Canada. Full Contact Fighter is the undefeated, no-holds-barred news source from around the world. See why fighters and fans alike call it the Bible of no-holds-barred news. Each issue is packed with fighter interviews and live coverage from fights around the world. Also, from Full Contact Fighter, walk like a champion, dress like a champion with Full Contact Fighter clothing and videos, all the best from all over the world. Call today, 718-661-3357, or visit our website at www.fcfighter.com.
Welcome back to Evansville, Indiana. I'm Michael Landsberg. This is the home of World Extreme Fighting 9. World Extreme Fighting 8 came to you from Rome, Georgia, and it was classic WEF action, a card dominated by great fights from start to finish. And the beauty of World Extreme Fighting is the balance. Great young fighters and savvy veterans. Let's begin our recap right now from WEF 8.
He's trying to go for the knee bar, but he doesn't have position. Martin Morris is taking a little bit of a beating at this point. Now, Carl Smith has got his back. He's got Martin Morris. Martin Morris is turtled up now.
Looks like Carl Smith has one hook in, and he's starting to secure the choke position, and as he takes the choke,
I think he's going to defend. Yes, Martin Morris spins out. Oh, good defense.
Reversing the position.
Good defense. But Carl Smith, unfortunately, is still on top.
I'm sorry, Stephen. We see Carl Schmidt here applying a side choke with one arm trapped.
He taps. That's a submission. What a spectacular victory for Carl Schmidt. Nice. Spectacular victory.
Incredible.
He's psyched.
Jorge takes a lunge with a jab at Hughes, unsuccessful. Hughes counters and drives him back into the cage. And he pulls guard. He's got a guillotine, but
look for a big takedown.
Big slam, right? He's going to go to the center of the ring. I wouldn't be surprised. He's going for that center. Oh, yeah! A big slam.
I tell you, Stephen, the strategy here that most people may not know is the center of this ring is the firmest point as there's a cross member there. That's a good thought by Matt Hughes to lift Jorge to the air, take him to the center of the mat, and look for the knockout on the takedown, as we saw Ken Shamrock do against Igor Zinoviev in a previous no-holds-barred event.
There's that reverse elbow. There's another elbow. It's another stomp elbow. He's going to stomp the elbow again. He's going to drop that elbow straight down, extend the arm, and drop the elbow on the nose or the eye. Oh!
Jorge is a very talented fighter, but I just believe Matt is just too awful strong for him.
I tell you, do I see some blood there? Is there a cut that's opened up here somewhere?
There is a cut. The elbow, another big right hand. You know, Matt is just pounding him. Oh! Big round for Matt Hughes. George is having problems getting up. George is very bloody. George is really in bad shape here. The fight may be over. That looks like that's it.
I'm with Matt Hughes right now. Matt, you beat George Pereira. You beat him easily. A lot of people thought this would be your biggest test, that he might beat you. Were you surprised how easy it was?
Yeah, I was very surprised. On paper, it looked like it was going to be a hard fight. He's got experience in the IBC. He's an old school jiu-jitsu. But I tell you, things just went my way, and that's how things go. I mean, I got off to a good start, and it ended my way.
Matt, last time you faced a Brazilian who was relatively unknown, and as we talked about, you were surprisingly good, and you had a surprisingly easy bout against him. This time you're facing Alexander Barros. What do you know about him? And for you, what would a great victory be outside of just winning the match?
What I look for is a challenge. I want to hit that guy, and I want him to hit me back. And I want to see who's the last guy standing. So I'm not big into the jumping around and doing 1,000 push-ups before I get in the ring. I'm pretty calm, pretty relaxed. But I tell you, when it's time to fight, it's time to fight.
Matt, I'm intrigued by something. You say you like to hit guys, obviously. But explain to me what you mean when you say you like to be hit as well.
Well, I grew up with a twin, and we're just competing with each other the whole time we're living. And, you know, I hit him, he hits me. It's all about who can stand the last. And that's what I want. I want somebody that can challenge me. If
you take a good shot early on, is that a wake-up call to you? Does that make you better when you feel, hey, you know what, this guy can hit?
Guaranteed it does. Walking out there, if he can open my eyes and let me see what I'm doing wrong early, that's great. Fine-tune things here and there, and then I'm ready to go.
You fought a Brazilian last time out. It was easier than expected. A lot of people are saying the same sorts of things, maybe because it's the unknown as you face Alexander Barros. What do you know from him, and what would be a great fight for you besides winning?
A great fight for me would be some good striking, because that's his specialty. He's got good kicks and he's got good punches. So if I can do well on my stand-up game, then that's good. What's going to happen is I'm going to have to take him down and I'm going to have to beat on him.
Best of luck. You got a lot of fans that are going to be here in this arena, a lot of fans across the world who think that Matt Hughes is exactly what no holds barred fighting should be all about. He will fight in WEF 9. Now let's continue our look back to WEF 8.
Laverne should throw a knee here. Johnny's covering up pretty well, so he's not
doing a nice job of defending those strikes. You're absolutely right, Stephen. I just started to say that as you opened up.
Yeah, he hasn't really, but he didn't block that one. That was right on the temple. He's bleeding a little bit now. I don't know if it's from the nose. But Laverne's got a clean shot here. John's got to continue to cover up. He can't absorb any of these punches. Oh, he's
possibly a triangle attempt.
Yeah, he's going for a triangle armbar, yeah.
Exactly.
He's got to watch his head's open. He could drop the knee. A lot of energy being expended here. End of round 2.
John Lewis, I mean, is a very dangerous opponent, you know, to be reaching that far up and forward. Could definitely open up doors for John Lewis.
Come on. He chinned him to the sternum, and John McCarthy warned him for a headbutt. I guess the chin is part of the head, so technically it is a headbutt.
I have seen the chin applied to the eye socket, which is considered an eye gouge in this sport, but I don't think I've ever seen a chin butt.
That's the first one I've ever seen. Tim?
I watch a lot of shows, and that's the first one I've seen as well.
So we have a unanimous decision that the chin butt is a new technique applied by Laverne Clark on John Lewis this evening.
Now, let's go to the judges. We'll see if there is a decision or if they go to an overtime.
We have a unanimous decision, and lightweight super fight title holder, Laverne Fist of Fury.
I don't think there's any surprise there, Stephen.
No, well, we got that one right.
The title bout will be World Extreme Fighting President Jamie Levine.
We did get that one right, and Laverne used his boxing, his wrestling, and obviously his defensive skill against jiu-jitsu from training with Jeremy Horn and Pat Miletich to neutralize and to rough up Johnny Lewis. Pele kneeing to the body, Pat punching to the body with the right hand. Pele's having his way with the knee, and a nice takedown by Pele.
Exact same takedown that he scored actually earlier with against Pat.
The fight is over. The fight is over. Pele goes out and shows the respect. There's no hard feelings. Is back. Oh, what a terrible disappointment for Pat Miletich. Pele Landi had a lot of good strikes in the first round and may have squeaked out the first round, but there was a whole fight ahead of us. But Pat's back went out. Our heart goes out to Pat Miletich.
Pound for pound, there's no doubt he's one of the best in the world. He is the UFC lightweight champion. His name is Pat Miletich. Pat, thanks for joining us today. I'm here in Evansville, Indiana for WEF 9. What brings you here?
I'm here to corner some of my fighters and training partners, Matt Hughes, Jens Pulver, and Bobby Hoffman.
All right, I want to take you back in time, though, to your last fight. You fought Pele. You lost. A lot of your fans were surprised by that, but there's something that was going on with you which prevented you from being yourself, right?
Yeah, I had a back injury that had been bothering me for a couple of months prior to the fight, and I just kept trying to train as much as I could, and the back condition got worse and worse as we went, and so by fight time, basically, I was just hoping that the back would hold up, and it didn't.
I imagine a guy of your attitude and your intensity, you'd like to fight Pele again.
Love to.
Anytime, anywhere?
As soon as possible.
Pat, you own the belt, but you'll put it on the line next time in the UFC. Tell me about that, and tell me about your opponent and what you know about him.
I'm fighting a fighter from Canada, John Alessio. He's a well-rounded fighter, good stand-up skills, and he likes to do a lot of leg locks, so I'll be protecting my legs during that fight.
Pat, everybody comes to this sport from different directions, obviously. When you started out, this sport was just being born. Tell me what brought you to no-holds-barred fighting.
I just, when I left college, went back to Iowa and went back home. I decided that I needed to stay in shape, started training in karate and kickboxing, started fighting amateur kickboxing, moved up through the ranks in that, turned into professional kickboxing and Muay Thai, won a title belt in that, and then when the NHB came out, thought I'd go back to my grappling roots and learn jiu-jitsu and submission fighting, and that's how it all happened.
And still to come, Conan Silveira, the WEF heavyweight champion, is ready to rumble.
World Extreme Fighting is finally coming to Canada. WEF 9 World Class. See WEF heavyweight champ Conan Silveira face Dan the Beast Severin. Also Canadian superstar Carlos Newton. Ground and pound wrecking machine Matt Hughes in for the middleweight title. Champion Pele Landy of Brazil faces American superstar Dave Manet. It's World Extreme Fighting 9 World Class, Saturday, May 27th, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, then midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific. Only on Viewers' Choice Canada. Full Contact Fighter is the undefeated, no-holds-barred news source from around the world. See why fighters and fans alike call it the Bible of no-holds-barred news. Each issue is packed with fighter interviews and live coverage from fights around the world. Also, from Full Contact Fighter, walk like a champion, dress like a champion with Full Contact Fighter clothing and videos, all the best from all over the world. Call today, 718-661-3357, or visit our website at www.fcfighter.com.
Headlining the card here in Evansville, Indiana, in a great card, is Conan Silveira. He will face Dan the Beast Severin, the former UFC heavyweight champion. The thing about Silveira is his balance. He combines the skills of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt with great stand-up skills, all making him one of the most feared men in the world of mixed martial arts.
Understanding Marcus Conan Silveira is not easy. He is Conan the Barbarian. Superstar in the violent world of no-holds-barred fighting world. His skill and ruthlessness in the ring and cage have made him a force in world extreme fighting, Battle Cage, and the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
You gotta love what you do. And saying like that seems like there was anything in life. If you commit yourself to do something, doesn't matter how hard or how far you gotta go, you do it. And as being a fighter and a no-holds-barred, you know, it of course takes much more than the average, than the regular, you know, person. I know that. It takes a lot from you, you know, your training, your habits to eat, your lifestyle. But it's like I say, if you love, you do it.
He's also Marcus Silveira, sportsman, teacher, and American success story. Marcus came to America to establish a school for his type of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He had studied under the legendary Carlson Gracie, a patriarch of the legendary Gracie family. As a Carlson disciple, he trained separately from his more famous cousin Royce, who was taught by his father Elio.
I think that he's an incredible fighter. You know, I gotta say that he did a lot for the no-holds-barred, for jiu-jitsu. He put the jiu-jitsu flag on the top. You know, even when he fought in the beginning, nobody knew about that. Nobody knew about no-holds-barred. You know, what is that? You know, the conception about martial arts, the conception about fight was, you know, very movie stuff. You know, like you can do in the movies, you can do in the real life.
Marcus has become an important part of the Miami martial arts scene. He operates a self-named studio in the South Florida area, as does his brother Marcelo, who has the Boca Black Belt Academy in Boca Raton, Florida. Marcus's studio caters to martial artists of all ages and sizes.
Put your knees down. Sit, relax, right there. When I say side control, go to the side control. Side control, you go to the other side. Very good. Yes. Exactly. I think that what I want to keep doing to the day I die is sharing my knowledge, my skills with people and help them, you know, be able to defend themselves a little bit better, or give them a different a vision of life. You know, make sure that everybody can believe in themselves, they can do something. They really can go for what they expect in life.
On the surface, he appears as a man living two distinct lives, benevolent teacher and professional fighter. But in reality, he's a decent man, dedicated to his sport and committed to excellence in every aspect of his life.
Always training hard, always, putting myself 100% and, try to do my best in life.
Despite the nickname, Conan seems to be anything but a barbarian, actually seems to be a pretty decent guy.
Oh, when he steps in that ring, he's a barbarian. Outside the ring, he may be a decent guy, but in that ring, he's a barbarian.
On the same way in the ring. Tell me what you think's going to happen when he faces Dan Severn.
Well, this fight's probably going to end up on the ground. It's going to be who's going to get the takedown and where the positioning's going to be. Look for Conan to look for a submission, and look for Dan to look for the top position and land some knees.
That should be a great fight, and this should be a great card. Once again, fans in Canada can see WEF 9 on Viewers' Choice Canada, May the 27th, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, and later midnight Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific time. Coming up next, a closer look at Kevin Randleman, king of the UFC heavyweights. And next week, the Canadian Zen warrior, Carlos Newton.
World Extreme Fighting is finally coming to Canada. WEF 9 World Class. See WEF heavyweight champ Conan Silveira face Dan the Beast Severn. Also Canadian superstar Carlos Newton. Ground and pound wrecking machine Matt Hughes. And for the middleweight title, champion Pele Landy of Brazil faces American superstar Dave Manet. It's World Extreme Fighting 9 World Class. Saturday, May 27th, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, then midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific. Only on Viewers' Choice Canada. Full Contact Fighter is the undefeated, no-holds-barred news source from around the world. See why fighters and fans alike call it the Bible of no-holds-barred news. Each issue is packed with fighter interviews and live coverage from fights around the world. Also, from Full Contact Fighter, walk like a champion, dress like a champion with Full Contact Fighter clothing and videos, all the best from all over the world. Call today, 718-661-3357, or visit our website at www.fcfighter.com.
He is the man. He is Kevin Randleman, UFC heavyweight champion. June the 9th, he will face Pedro Rizzo. You were supposed to face him before in the last UFC. Tell us what happened and what prevented you from fighting him.
The people that were putting on the show, they stopped me from fighting. I was warming up. I was signing autographs for some kids. The police officers came up and asked me to stop because there was a bunch of kids coming down to get autographs. Well, my entourage and that, they said, let's go ahead and train. I need about 30, 40 minutes to train. There's curtains, like you see the little black things you have up here with the tap out signs on it. Well, they're connected with little pipes. Well, behind one of the curtains, as I was running through with my Walkman on, there was a bunch of those little pipes behind it. And when I hit it, I was in the air, came down on my head, woke up. There was a paramedic there, and I didn't know what happened for at least about 20 minutes.
So you would reject the rumor that I'm spreading right now that you lost your nerve and you were afraid of Pedro Rizzo. That's why you did it. That you actually intentionally fell.
I will give you, this is just so funny and ironic that, after I fell, my shoulder was a little sore. And I'm like, look, just get me up. I don't want anyone to see me on my back, blah, 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 because I don't want those rumors. So we're going back, and I can't get in my locker room. I'm like, man, I'm going to kick this door open if someone don't, because every single time I can't get in my locker room. Well, they take me into the next locker room. Guess who's sitting there throwing up in the trash can? The Rock was. And I mean, we were both nervous, of course, but I can honestly say I fight with big guys. I mean, you got guys like Pat Miletich, and I mean, he's not a 240-pounder, but he's not scared of anybody. And I mean, why would you? I mean, I fought Tom Erickson, and oh well, so what? I got knocked the frick out. Big deal. I mean, I get up, brush it off, and I'll be back in. So for someone to say I might be a little intimidated by The Rock, please, I get my ass kicked by Mark Coleman every day. Why should I be scared of The Rock?
Well, that's the soft side of Kevin Randleman. You can see the tough side in the octagon as he defends his title against challenger, the amazing Pedro Rizzo, June the 9th at UFC 26, live from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Check local listings for times in your area. We're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to your comments on our show. You can reach us at fcfnews@aol.com or visit our website at www.fcfighter.com. And coming up next week on the show, the Japanese call him Ronin. We call him one of the most gifted NHB fighters in the world, Carlos Newton. Rejoined by Joel Gold, that's the end of this show. An amazing experience here in Evansville, Indiana, and WEF9. But it doesn't matter where we come from. I'm Michael Landsberg, you're Joel Gold, and
Full Contact Fighter is the #1 no-holds-barred news source of the world.
Sounds even better on the road. We'll see you next time.